Hey, Real Green Ninja here. Today we're talking about what might trigger an automatic adjustment, so let's begin. Sometimes when you're doing stuff in Service Assistant, putting in a payment, fixing prepay, it's going to create an adjustment because it needs to reconcile the account balance based upon what you did. The thing is though, sometimes you might not be aware of that adjustment, and that's why I wanted to show you how this can work and why you might get that adjustment in there. So we're going to go ahead and pull up a customer's account right here now, and then let's see here, there we go. And you'll see that we actually have already posted production on the first service. Now prepay means they're paying ahead of time. So because it's posted in production, it's not able to set up as prepaid normal, but we can still apply the prepaid discount against it, and again, it will trigger an automatic adjustment. So if we come down here and hit the little pile of gold coins, we're going to put in our payment amount. So again, let's say they're getting a 5% off, so we're going to put our $570 they gave us, and then down here, we're going to select that prepay code to apply towards our services. It's going to say, are you sure you want to apply the money towards this? It's already been completed, and we're going to click yes. And you'll now see we have the prepaid code sitting there. Now, when we save this payment and then post the payment, what's going to happen is it's going to say, wait a minute, we should have only charged them $95 because it was a 5% discount, but obviously they were charged full amount because they went through and posted the work before putting the prepayment. Now, you'll see here we have our $475 sitting in our prepay, but if we go to history, you'll see it created that hashtag adjustment or pound symbol adjustment, and this is an automatic adjustment for the difference between what the full price that was charged and then the discounted price that should have been charged. If we come up here, you'll see the L1 service, the first service, it still has not technically considered prepaid for, but because we actually applied the money against the balance, then we said, okay, go ahead and do the discount because it's a prepaid. That's why that automatic adjustment was made. If this customer was charged tax on that service, then it would also create one of the tax adjustments, one of the TTs or ZZs, depending on which direction it needed to go, either to credit or to debit. And again, we always tell people, please do not use those double repeating character codes on this adjustment screen here, because let the system use them when it needs to. Otherwise, I wish they could hide them on you guys and you don't see them, and so you don't pick them accidentally. Because if you don't use them correctly, it can create a whole mess of problems down the road, and you might not catch it for years. Now, another thing that could create an automatic adjustment is if you go to aging and then prepay adjustments. Pretty much anytime you're moving money around between prepay and non-prepay, it has to make that adjustment to move that money around. Now, if it's a matter of you just changing it from one service to another, it might not need to make that adjustment if it's within the same code and the same amount. But if I were to come here and say, you know what, I don't want this additional service. The customer said, you know what, I don't need it. Can I get a refund for the money? Sure, no problem. We're going to come in here. We're going to remove that prepay code, and you'll see it's going to drop $95 down to the credit remit balance, the amount of money that was set aside under that code for that service. The thing is, though, is again, it has to make the adjustment in order to do that. When we apply changes, this time it will say, hey, are you sure you want to create and post? Hit yes. We go to history, and you'll see there's that GG that took the money out of prepay and dropped it into the credit remit balance. And in fact, it lowered the amount that's in prepay. If it went the other direction, if we moved it up into prepay, it would be a KK, and again, that's raised prepay. Another possible thing that could create an adjustment is there is a utility, and again, this is one of those things, if you're not 100% sure exactly what you're doing, please call Real Green to see if it's something you need to do. But pretty much when we go run a utility, there is one called under our custom utilities, correct prepay problems. This one could potentially generate one of those KKs or GGs because it's going to go through and reconcile. Again, if you're not quite sure what you need to do, just give us a call. We'll definitely get going there. And then the easiest way to find out if it makes a bunch of adjustments is to go through and run an adjustment report and then say, hey, I want to look for the KKs and GGs. In fact, you might look for any of the double repeating ones just so you can see what adjustments were made on today's date, because today would be the day we did it. So again, the system needs to do it, so reconcile balances. Sometimes it catches you off guard because you're going through the customer's history. You're like, well, wait a minute, why is this adjustment here? Why is it showing it's my name, the one that made it, and I didn't actually make it? That's because even though you didn't do it consciously, you did do something that triggered the adjustment to have to be made to reconcile the account. So I hope that kind of helps explain a little bit of what's going on here, and you guys have yourself a wonderful day.